Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura Tapiwa. If you're joining me for the first time, hey, what's up? And if you're back again, I don't know how many times you've been here. What's up, cousin? Because we're family over here. So I noticed some of my family members haven't been here for the whole YouTube journey since I started some years ago. Most of you joined sometime last year, and some of you are still joining. So I just want to do an updated get to know me tag so that you guys can know exactly who your cousin is, what I'm all about, my story, and all of that. So without wasting most of your time, let's get straight into the video. So I'm going to start just telling you a little bit about myself before I go into answering questions, just who I am and all of that. So my name is Laura, my first name with an H, second name Tapiwa. I am 31 years of age. I went to high school at a girls' school for 6 years. I went to varsity in Zim. I was in boarding school from the time I was from the time I was 9, 10. I've been in boarding school since until the time I was 18. I lost my dad when I was 17, absolute love of my life. And then that just changed the trajectory of my whole life. I graduated varsity. I studied sociology. I graduated varsity in 2017. I did a bit of work in Zim. I worked at OKMart. I did sales. I did tail operating and all of that. I worked at Chop Chop for a week. I was a waitress. And then I got a job at this company at Longcheng where I was like an administrator for like a year. I think in that job, that's where I launched my YouTube career. I had a very, very nice workmate who kind of just motivated me and was very encouraging. So that kind of launched my YouTube career when I was there. And then at some point, me and my friend Cheniso just decided, let's go to SA. I really, really wanted to be big on YouTube. And I was like, let me go to SA because SA appreciates YouTubers. Essays like that. So I went to SA. That was in 2019. I got to Leidenburg, stayed with my friend for about a month. Went to Pietermaritzburg, stayed there for about 2 years, I think, 2.5 years. And then I moved to Joburg. When I got my job, I moved to Joburg. I was staying in Sandton until I left. When I started off in Joburg, I was going to the office, and then I branched out into remote roles. Sometime last year, I just decided I was tired of living abroad, guys. Living abroad for me was mainly a bit of loneliness. I worked from home and I lived alone. I basically didn't want the life where everything was just passing me by in Zim. And some of you might think, oh, it's just Zim, it's close, but I couldn't afford to be back and forth, if I'm being honest. So a lot of functions, a lot of things were passing me by, and I just didn't want that. And also when you're here, it kind of feels like home, and I missed that. So generally, I just wanted to be back home. And there was a push, if you are a Christian, there was a push. I'd been having the urge. I feel like something was ready for me here in Zim. So I prayed about it, fasted about it, and I came to Zim. Here in Zim, I've been here since October. I started working remotely when I was here, and then I stopped because I also missed human interaction. I was like, I don't want to continue the same way I was living in SA. So I got a job, and then I got a job. So now I go to the office. We're not going to go into the details of my work because I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but I do have a 9-to-5 job. So now that I've given you a bit of my life story, I have 2 siblings. I'm the firstborn daughter. I have a little sister who's in the final year in varsity and a half brother who's going for lower 6. So that's my family. I'm a mom. Yeah. Anyway, let me answer some of your questions. What do I do for a living? I've answered you guys. I work at a construction company. We're not going to get into details. I feel like some of these questions come from a place where people are just trying to figure things out. I will say though, when I initially moved, how I could afford a lot of things was that I was working remote, and remote jobs pay better and they pay so well. So I could afford a lot of things because of that. Second question, am I in a relationship? Currently, no. I'm single. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not looking. I'm kind of focusing on myself, but I'm open. So it's like a 50-50. I'm not looking, but I'm open. Which church do I go to? Right now, I'm still trying out churches. I think I have I'm left with like 2 options, which I'm gonna go to back to back, and then decide which one I choose. 2-3 options, because I did go to a couple of churches when I moved back. I really, really wanted to have a home. So yeah, and then the last question I'm going to answer now is, do I make money from YouTube? Yes, I do make money from YouTube. It's about 100 to 150 plus minus depending on the month. If you guys watch my ads, it can be more than that. If you guys subscribe and like and comment, it can be more than that. So yeah, basically that's just my life story. Most of the questions that I asked on Instagram were kind of around the same thing. What do you do for a living? How do you afford your life? etc. I am very financially savvy, just to put it out there. I budget. I rarely spend money on myself. I budget. I save. I like it. There was a time I just used to splurge, but now, you know, also being in Zim, I save a lot. So that's how I can afford. And some of the things are not really that massive, considering that I stay alone. I don't buy groceries a lot, so I can afford to buy certain things and certain luxuries at certain points, because it's not like I'm buying cooking oil every month. I don't cook that much. So yeah, most of the questions were centered on what I do for a living, if I'm in a relationship, why I moved. I think after this, I'm going to do a Zim vlog where I'm going to explain why I moved, how I moved, my moving process, what it's been like, and all of that. It's going to be in a separate video. This was just a get to know me tag where you guys can feel a little bit familiar with your cousin. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.